Shin looked over to Corey as they lifted the retaining wall of the prefabricated shelter. Corey nodded and they locked the pins into place, securing the wall. The seals hissed as the structure began automated processes to make it airtight. The air here on Pavel Theta was breathable, but unpleasant. So the crew was all wearing respirators. "There it is again," Corey said to Shin, his voice hollow in his mask. A loud thumping and rustling sounded beneath their feet. The previous crew had remarked on the same. It seemed harmless. For now. Shin shrugged. "Weird, right?" "What now? The power grid?" Corey nodded and they walked over to where the supply drop storage contained all of their equipment. They began to assemble the necessary machinery to supply power to the outpost when they heard a growl behind them. Two small, four-legged creatures stood behind them, hackles raised. They reminded Shin of possums, but they looked rotting. Parts of their flesh hung loosely, and one of the animals was missing an eye, and the bone of the eye socket could be seen plainly. "What the hell?" Shin was able to utter before the creatures suddenly sprang at them. Shin was not able to stand up in time, and one of the creature's claws raked across his face. The men swung their tools at the possums in defense, but the small beasts were surprisingly agile. Before long, they both had multiple bites and scratches. "Get in the shelter!" Shin shouted as he clubbed one of the possums with his wrench. Shin's heart felt like it was beating out of his chest. Corey ran into the hab, holding the door open for Shin. The other man gave the remaining possum a kick, then ran into the shelter. The door slid shut and hissed as it sealed. Corey looked over to Shin. "That's a nasty scratch on your face. Are you okay?" Shin reached up to the wound on his face and felt wetness. Mixed in with the blood on his fingers was a neon yellow fluid. That was the latest entry in my flash fiction series Distress Signals. That was Construct Destiny. An engineering crew perform emergency fixes at a dangerous location. I hope you enjoyed that flash fiction. Stay tuned for more as we progress through our storyline. Welcome back to another episode of Mothership, the stories of Devin Valentine and Cade Zachary. I'm DV, your humble GM and adventurer. Last episode we landed on Pavel Theta, and we had some expectations of what we would find here, and it did not meet our expectations doing this job of installing some equipment onto Pavel Theta, and we come across some strange critters here. And so now we are in the process of establishing the base further and hopefully not get into too much trouble. Let's see how it turns out as we continue with our struggles. Last episode we finished and we were just about to start doing our strength checks to setting up some equipment. So we're going to continue from there. The decontamination room frame requires 3 successful strength checks to completely build and seal the room. So let's make 3 successful strength checks. It was going to be me, Cade, and Rowena, but of course, Akeem is like, "I'll handle this," and he kind of brushes past Rowena, and she gives him a really dirty look. She's like, "Fine, I'll keep watch. Maybe there's more possums out here that we need to re-kill." And Cade kind of gives a little nervous laugh. So now we're going to do our strength checks. First with Akeem. He has to beat a 25. He gets a 36. Nothing going for Akeem. So he's no help. He's all glamour muscles. And so now we'll roll for Devin. He also fails and gains a stress because now he's nervous about all these possums and whatnot. Contractors don't gain stress, by the way. They're impervious to it. Impervious to stress. They're just co-workers. And then finally, Cade is going to roll a strength check. Cade's a strong boy. He doesn't have those glamour muscles. He's got real muscles. So he's going to roll strength. And he's going to use his industrial equipment with that as well. But he still fails. a 70 versus a 70. I mean, a 79 versus a 70, and he still fails. So that's unfortunate. All right. So we struggle to get the frame set up, and we're sitting there struggling with everything, and then suddenly 2 more possums are drawn to the noise of us setting up this frame. So while we're struggling, Rowena calls out, guys, we got company. And so we all immediately drop what we're doing and run over and watch as these 2 possums are moving very quickly towards us. It looks like they are aggravated by this racket that we're making. So we will roll for initiative. We're going to do 1 for us and 1 for the possums to see who goes first. So my speed is 40. Cade's is 48. We'll roll with Cade first. So 48 is what we're going to beat. 96. Come on, Cade. All right, and then we'll roll for the possums. They have to beat... Well, they beat their speed, so they get to go first. All right, so the possums both start running towards us as we all form up and make a line, and they don't like that. They see that we're being aggressive, and so they start rushing towards us at full speed. They go from long range to short range very quickly, covering the ground between us. And Akeem, being trigger happy as he is, he fires first. And he gets a 55, which is another critical miss. Oh, Akeem. Akeem. He once again expends a full clip of ammo on these possums and misses every freaking shot. And Rowena's like, conserve your ammo, you fool. And he's like, shut up. And so Rowena also is going to roll to fire. She squeezes off a few rounds, 69, nice, and she misses as well. And now Cade's going to roll his attack with his SMG. He also fails. These possums are like dodging and weaving. They're really on the move here. And then finally, I'm going to roll a fear save to see if I get to attack. And I fail once again. And I run and hide into the main room like a big old baby. A big old fat baby. While I'm in there, do I notice something? I am unlikely. I have to get better than 75. No, I do not. Okay. Hilarious. Now it's the possum's turns. Once again, they are closing from close range to adjacent. And they both get to make their attack. Who are they going to attack? Well, let's let the Oracle find out. So there's 4 of us. We'll roll a 1, 2, 3, a D4. We'll say Akeem's 1, Rowena's 2, Devin's 3, Cade is a 4. Who do they attack? They both attack Cade. Holy crap. All right, let's see. Do they both attack Cade? 50% chance? Greater than or equal to 50, so no, they don't both attack Cade. One of them attacks Devin. All right, so one attacks Devin, one attacks Cade. So the first one is going to attack Devin. Remember, we have our vac suits on. That gives us 3 armor. The first one, let's see, they are mindless in their attack. If they're left alone, they may forget about us. If attacked, they will continuously target the threat until distracted or dispatched. Interesting. Okay. So he can either attack with a tail whip or with claws and teeth. I feel like he's probably going claws and teeth. So he's going straight for the claws and teeth. He's going to roll a 1d10. First he has to roll a combat roll, which will be a 2, which is a success. And he's going to roll damage, 1d10, a 3. All right. We are going to say that the armor for Devin absorbs all of that. 3 damage, but it does decrease his armor down to 2. Okay, so the possum scratches and claws at him as he's trying to like kick it away, but unfortunately he's unable to stop it from scratching him, but his armor absorbs the majority of it and reduces his armor down to 2 for the next hit. The second one's going to attack Cade. He fails in his attack. Cade's able to sidestep this little decayed possum, and he can't get a hit on him. All right, so now Akeem is going to fire. Hopefully he doesn't shoot one of us. He's an idiot. Let's roll to attack with Akeem. He gets an 80. That's a fail, but at least it's not a critical fail this time. Jeez. Come on, Akeem. So he expends one of his last 5 shots. He's down to 4 shots now. And he fails to contact. He fires but misses. Rowena also is going to fire. She also fires and misses. She's down to 2 shots left in her clip, her first clip. And now Cade is going to, or Devin's going to see if he can attack. The possum has ran into the room with him. So he's now in the main room with this possum, by the way. So can he attack? Can he overcome his fear? Yes, he can. He can overcome his fear. He can attack. Let's roll to attack. He gets a 7. That's a hit. Fantastic. So he fires a shot from his revolver, and I'll mark all those rounds down whenever I get a chance. So he's down to 12 rounds. He gets a 1d10 plus 1. That is a 3 damage. Okay. So one of these little possums, they have 3 hits. Did I say 2 hits or 3 hits? They got 3 hits each. They get more health than the contractors. All right, so he's down to 2 hits on one of them. And possum 2, he's got 3 hits still. All right. So Devin is able to successfully fire his revolver into the face of that little possum. And when he does, that neon yellow blood spurts out and it lets out a god-awful stink. And then it screeches in a horrible little screech that feels like it's clawing into Devin's brain. And now Cade is going to make his attack on the possum that's attacking him. He's going to roll combat. Critical failure. Dang. He also fires, but since he is firing wildly, he uses his remaining shots and he has to reload from one of his mags. Oh, Cade. He just completely expends the full clip of ammo. And now it is the possum's turn again. The possum that is attacking Cade is going to roll first. He's going to show him possum. Attack is 30, so he gets a critical fail. He stumbles whenever he is attacking, and Cade is going to get basically an extra attack. So Cade's going to roll an extra attack here, and he fails anyway. So bad on you, Cade. Okay, and then so both of them miss in their attacks, and Cade expends another shot on his SMG. And now the second possum is going to attack Devin. It also fails in its attack. Devin is able to sidestep this thing from getting at him. And so now it is going to be Akeem's turn. Akeem takes aim at the possum attacking Cade, and he fires. And of course, Akeem misses 69. And he is down to 3 shots left. Hopefully he has a knife or something that he can use. Some sort of weapon. Okay, and now it is Rowena's turn. She's going to fire. She also fails. Man, our attack rolls are terrible. Next, it is Devin's turn. He's going to make a fear save to attack, and he fails. He runs out the door, and can he get past the possum without getting attacked? I'm going to say it's likely, so let's roll a yes or no. Oof, barely. He barely gets out the door, and he closes the door on the possum. It is now trapped inside the main room. So the possum can't get out the door there. Devin's huffing and puffing inside this, outside the door of that room there. And now it's Cade's turn. Cade is going to attack once again as well. And he gets a success. One shot used. Roll some damage, buddy boy. Ooh, 8 damage. Holy smokes. That takes off another wound off the other possum. He's down now to 2 wounds. Fantastic. He is badly wounded. And once again, upon getting hit, blood, neon yellow blood spurts out and he screeches. And he's foaming at the mouth. And he's generally in a bad way. All right, so now it is the possum's turn again. The first possum is going to try to get out of the door. I'm going to say it's very, very unlikely that he does. He has to roll over a 90. Does he find a way out of the room? No, he does not. He's still trapped inside the main room. Okay, the second possum attacks Cade. He has to roll below a 30. And he does. He gets a 7. Holy cow. He's going to do a tail whip, so which is a 1d10. Should be this left die here. It is a 3 on Cade. And we're going to say his armor absorbs that. And now it is decreased to 2 armor just like Devin's. Okay. So now that we got that under control, it's going to be Akeem's turn. Akeem is going to take a shot at the one attacking Cade, and he gets a hit. Fantastic. He rolls his 2d10 damage. It is an 8. He has knocked the possum down to a 1. And does the possum retreat? I'm going to say it's likely. Oh, actually, no, these decayed possums do not retreat. But when they are down to 1 hit left, it freezes and falls to the ground on its side. Its lips are drawn back, its teeth are bared, and saliva foams around the mouth. And the eyes are all glazed over, and a foul-smelling fluid is released. Oh, hilarious. Okay, so it falls down. Presumably dead, but perhaps just playing possum. Does Rowena shoot it anyway because she thinks it's just playing possum, or does she believe it? So we're going to say 50% chance. Does she think it's okay? Greater than 50. Yes, she does shoot it. She doesn't believe that it is playing possum, so she goes ahead and shoots it anyway. For a 47, that's a miss. Okay. Kay's like, what are you doing? It's dead. And she's like, I don't buy it. Haven't you ever heard the phrase playing possum? I think it's still alive. Kate's like, what do you think, Devin? Devin's just huffing and puffing, breathing. He's like, there's another one still in here. And they're like, well, should we just leave it in there, or should we kill it? And Devin's like, well, we have to connect this decontamination room up to this main room, so we'll have to open it up at some point to get them hooked up. I'm like, fine. Devin, you open the door and then run, and we'll shoot at this possum. So he agrees. Devin agrees. He steals himself, and he pulls open the door, and he runs quickly as he can. He gets at short range. Does the possum attack him before he is able to run? I'm going to say not likely. So he's get over a 75. Whoops. Over 75. No, he does not. Okay. Fantastic. Now it's Cade's turn to attack. He's going to fire his SMG at this possum that has just emerged from the main building. And he fails once again. And now the possum's turn. The possum is closest to Devin. So it's going to run towards Devin and attack with claws. And he fails. Okay. And so now it is Akeem's turn. He is going to fire at this possum and misses. Akeem is down to 2 shots left. Oof. Akeem, my man. He sprays his bullets ineffectually. Rowena is going to attack as well. She too fails in her attack. Devin, instead of running for... He's going to make a run for the the garage instead of the main room, the loading room. So he's going to roll. Well, actually, he doesn't have to roll. He's just going to do a double move and move into the loading room, and he closes the door. He's such a coward. Oh my gosh, he's such a coward. Let's give him a 50% chance. Does he want to look inside of the lockers? Oh, a 50, which is greater than or equal to 50 is a yes. So he does go ahead, and while he's tucked away inside of here, he opens up the lockers. Inside the first locker is a dusty pickaxe and some expired candy. And inside the second locker is a collection of pretty rocks from the planet's surface and a locked wall safe. Oh. Okay. Interesting. And then the third locker has Mikey's locker. It still contains some personal effects, an empty bottle of heart meds, a letter from Kowalski Research Ventures about rejecting his medical coverage, and a postcard about the bounty of Cephid the Eighth, whoever that is. He looks inside the fourth locker. He finds a sweater with Zaddy stitched across the chest and small brass key. He doesn't know where it goes to, but he goes ahead and pockets that key. And then finally, in the last locker, he finds a laser leveler on a short, extendable tripod. So that might come in handy for setting up that decontamination room. So we might have to go ahead and take note of that as well. Okay, now it's Cade's turn. Cade is going to try to attack this. Fail again. Cade, my man. Everybody is failing. So now that Devin is no longer in the picture, we're going to roll a 1d4 to see who the possum attacks. A 1 or a 2 is Akeem because he's the closest. 3 is Rowena. 4 is Cade. So it is attacking Akeem. I'm going to roll. It fails with a 90. And Akeem is able to sidestep this thing. Akeem's going to go ahead and fire. And he gets a hit. Fantastic, Akeem. Good job. And he gets 14 damage, which kills, again, this undead possum. And once again, it lets out a horrible stench. But it definitely looks a little different than the quote-unquote dead possum over there. So Rowena is just going to walk up to that other dead possum. She doesn't have to make a combat roll because it's just sitting there. And she fires her last round into that other dead possum, killing both of the possums. So now they are dead. After they are all huffing and puffing and realize that they have overcome yet another attack from these decayed possums, they hear a scratching sound underneath their feet. And Cade is like, I think there's more of these things around. So we better get this job done and get the heck out of here. Before they do that, Akeem's like, I gotta go use the toilet. So he runs over to the little house, this little plastic room, standalone room that houses the chemical toilet. And he opens it up, and it looks like there's an obvious open space underneath here that where pipes would normally go, but it looks like it's just an open outhouse, and it has a terrible odor when he opens it up. And the quote-unquote toilet bowl is filled with those same yellow flowers that grow outside. And does he see a possum in there? Let's roll a 1d10. He does see a possum. It leaps out at him and attacks for a fail. He startles and yells out, and he's like, freak, there's another one. And Rowena's like, you just had to go to the freaking bathroom. And so we're just going to say that that was a possum's move. Now we're going to move, and Akeem's going to make an attack. He gets a 30. That is a hit. I think he actually has to get below his bet. We'll say it's such a close fail that he uses his last 2 rounds, just like he does all the time. He fires both rounds, and one of them does hit this possum. and it squeals in pain. And now Rowena, she takes aim and fires as well. She also gets a hit, and whoops, didn't mean to do that. And she gets 7 damage, and once again, it falls over and plays dead, and she walks over to it and shoots it just in case, and uses another ammo. But she doesn't have to make a combat roll because she just does a coup de grace, so to speak. Okay. With all the shooting, Devin comes out. He's like, what happened? Did another one show up? And they're like, God, you freaking coward. Get out here and help us. And he's like, well, I found this. And he holds up the laser leveler. And they're like, all right, well, I guess that's good. Maybe we can use it to set up that decontamination room. And he's like, I also found this key, but I don't know what it goes to. Oh, and there's a safe in one of these lockers. And Akeem is like, it's safe. And so instead of keeping watch, Akeem runs in there and he starts looking at this safe. And he's going to make an intellect check to see if he can determine how to open this safe here. So he has to roll below a 25. Akeem's not very smart. He doesn't realize that he can open it if he had the key card. And so he tries to just use brute strength. He doesn't have very much brute strength, unfortunately, but he does succeed with opening the safe. However, he's bashing it with the butt of his submachine gun, and it opens up, and it has an emergency override key inside of it and a stim pack. So we don't know what to do with this emergency override key, but presumably it will bring this shuttle down. But I think we have to have the... No, we do have the transmitter. It's part of the main room. Okay, I was going to say, I don't think we have this transmitter. All right. So while oh boy is doing that, he pockets that stim pack. While he's doing that, the three of us are going to go ahead and work on setting up the decontamination room again. And with this laser leveler, we get to roll advantage on our strength rolls. All right. Fantastic. So we can go ahead and do Rowena first. We have to get 3 successive strength rolls. All right, so she is going to roll an 89. That's a fail, but she gets advantage. So 37, that's a fail. All right, so she failed. Cade's going to roll. He gets a fail, and 34. That's a save. All right, good. So he gets, since he's got advantage, he gets to roll twice, and he gets a success. So now we're going to get 2 more successes. And so let's go with Devin. He rolls a 50, which is a fail, which gets his stress up again. Okay. Oh, well, we got to roll and see if he... yeah, that's fail. Okay. So we got 2 successful strength checks. Now it's Rowena's turn again, but unfortunately, we made enough noise that 0 possums show up. Fantastic. That's good. All right, so that's good. Nobody showed up. And so I'm going to let Rowena roll. She gets a fail. And then Cade rolls. He gets a success. That's 3 successes. We finally get that stupid decontamination room set up. Oh my gosh. So we get it set up and we unlock the door in between the main room and the new decontamination room. So we go ahead and we take a quick break. We go into the kitchen / hallway of the main room. And what do we see in there? Let's see. The kitchen is set up with a cramped connected hallway. There's no space for a table or chairs. A camping stove and kettle are stacked on a small refrigerator. Dirty plates and blue plastic trays lean against the fridge. And there is a locked hazardous materials cage. Inside that cage, we can see a flame weeder. It's a garden flamethrower. The nozzle is smaller than a tactical flamethrower and is connected to a fuel tank. The tank is empty, but it does 1d10 fire damage. Okay. And then there is a fuel tank. It holds enough gas for 4 shots for the flame weed eater. Okay. And then there's a fire extinguisher as well. All right. So Akeem goes ahead and grabs that. He's got the key. Or gets that key from Devin. And he goes ahead and tries it on the this locked hazardous cage, and indeed it does unlock the cage, and he takes the fuel tank. He fills up that weed eater with it. Okay, and do they find another audio log? Yes, they also find another audio log. Let's hear what this one has to say.
This is Connor Almeida, head of Pavel Crew 1. I'm sorry to say that we lost a member of our crew today. Is that too formal? Hold on. This is Connor Almeida. Mikey Burgess died this morning while completing his rotation outside. No need to add a cryo coffin to the pickup. We buried him out in the field. He would have liked that, I think. Shit. No. They don't care. Hey Kowalski, thanks to you, Mikey died. Yeah, he was old as balls, but he still could have been kicking for a couple more years if you let him buy more meds. Fucker owed me credits. Okay. I'm gonna get a drink and re-record this later.
These guys all sound like freaking androids. Okay, so I guess that Mikey Burgess is the guy that we saw his makeshift gravestone out there. And so, yeah, great. So we are now going to go get to work on hooking up the survey equipment, which is our last objective. The packed survey equipment is part of the gear players bring to Pavel Theta. The equipment is contained in 3 metal crates intended to monitor the radiation interference from a clearing. This equipment is fiddly and will take 5 hours to set up unless we have a scientist or an android on the team, which we do not. Okay. For every, let's see, for every scientist or android, it's reduced by 1 hour. We don't have any. Okay. So we're going to, every hour that we spend working on this, we have to make a roll and see what happens, if anything, while we're setting up this gear. All right, so we'll go ahead and start working on it. I guess we'll keep one guy on watch. We'll let Akeem get on watch. He's pretty much worthless anyway. So we're going to go ahead and roll to see what happens, if anything, during the first hour. One player experiences an electrical burn, 3 damage. All right, who is it? There's 4 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 is Devin. So it goes Akeem, Rowena, Devin, Cade. So Devin gets 3 damage from an electrical burn. So they're sitting there working on it, and they put together a circuit before it's fully connected, and he gets a little bit of an arc there and gets a burn of 3. So he's down to 17 health. And we'll say that causes him a little stress as well. All right. So now we are going to work on the second hour of setting up this survey. Once again, we're going to roll. A 9. Nothing happens. Okay. Great. Third hour. 2. One player experiences an electrical burn. 3 damage. Who is it? It is Akeem. Akeem takes one of his wounds on his electrical burn. So Akeem is down to 1 wound. Oh my gosh, Akeem. Akeem. Okay. That's 3 hours. We've got 2 hours left. Let's roll. 5. Uh-oh. We are diligently working on this survey equipment, and Rowena suddenly cries out in fear, and we're all going to have to make a fear save, I think, because out of the nearby graveyard where the gravestone was set up, that 10 by 10 foot square area, in that 6 foot long mound with the tombstone for Mikey Burgess, we see a hand pop up out of the ground, and then another hand, and Mikey starts pulling himself up out of the grave. He's been dead for a few days. His body is bloated with boils of neon yellow pus on his skin, and a key card hangs from his carabiner attached to his belt. And before we can do anything, we all have to make a fear save. So we'll do first the two contractors. Akeem fails. Rowena fails. Devin fails. Cade fear save fails. Alright, so we all failed. Devin gains another stress as well. And so before we're all shocked from the fear, and Mikey starts to amble toward us from long range to short range, and he is going to try to attack us through any means necessary. Let's roll for initiative. He's already got to short range with us, but he has to get adjacent in order to attack. So we're going to roll for Mikey first. He got a 2. He gets to go first. And so I'm not going to roll for everybody else. They're just going to go Akeem, Rowena, Devin, and then Cade. So dead Mikey is going to run toward us, or amble in what passes for a run for the bloated corpse. And who is he attacking? He is attacking Rowena. He runs up to Rowena before she can react. She's frozen in fear, and he is going to feel the urge to sink his teeth into Rowena. Rolls an attack. A 26. Oh, he gets a hit. 2d10 bleeding damage. Oh my god, 14 bleeding damage. Yikes. So he bites down as hard as he can, and it exceeds through her vac suit armor, and he viciously swings his head like a dog with a toy, and he rips through that suit and causes her one wound. Rowena is now wounded, and she will have to treat herself, or she will bleed out her second wound next turn. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so now it is Akeem's turn. He has this flamethrower. He gets 4 shots with it. He no longer has any ammo with his SMG, so he's got 4 shots with his flamethrower. He's going to make an attack. He fails and does not get a hit on Mikey. He shoots the fire, but he's fumbling around with this thing that's so unfamiliar, and he just shoots it straight up in the sky, like the incompetent fool that he is. And so now Rowena, she has to make a decision. She's going to have to bandage herself with a med kit, or she'll bleed out. So we did get the decontamination room up, and so we still have 2 hours left to do the surveying equipment. So she's going to make a run for the decontamination room and lock herself in there, and she has a packed up first aid kit, and she's going to bandage herself to keep herself from bleeding. And that will be her turn. Now it is Devin's turn. Devin, can you overcome your cowardice? Make a fear save. Yes, he can. Can you fire? Yes, you can. Can you do a 1d10 plus 1 with your pistol? That's a 5 damage on Mikey. Mikey. What is Mikey's health? Holy smokes. Mikey's got a lot of health. So got 5 damage on Mikey from Devin's pistol. That's 2 shots for Devin's pistol. Now it is Cade's turn. Cade's going to attack with his SMG. And he fails. And he's going to have to reload. And now it is Mikey's turn again. He's going to try to roll to see who he attacks. It'll be Akeem, 1 and 2. 3 is Devin. 4 is Cade. Alright, it's Akeem. He's rolling for Akeem. He's attacking Akeem. He gets a hit. Holy smack. He lunges at Akeem and tries to rip and tear his suit with his clawed hands. And he gets a 1, which means the armor absorbs all of the damage without damaging the armor. So that's good. So using his nails and any exposed bone, he's unable to puncture Akeem's suit. Akeem yells out in terror, and he's going to make a fear save. And he succeeds. Good job. Good job, Akeem. Alright, so now it is Akeem's turn. He is going to roll to fire his flamethrower. He gets a hit. Heck yeah. 1d10. 4 damage on Mikey. Okay. Now it is Devin's turn. Can he make a fear save? Yes, he did. Fantastic. Can he beat his combat? Yes, he did. 1d10 plus 1. 8 damage. Heck yeah. Now we're cooking with gas. Rowena, I forgot about her. She steps out of the room. She raises her gun and fires at Mikey and misses. She now reloads her SMG with her last clip as well. Alright, now it is Cade's turn. He's going to fire at Mikey, and he fails once again as well. Dang. Jeez. Okay. Now it's Mikey's turn again. He's going to continue to attack Akeem. And he misses. Thank goodness. Oof. Oh no, that's a hit with Mikey. Jeez, he's got a 55 combat. He hits with 1d10. Let's see what he gets here. A 5, which does damage to Akeem. Now Akeem was already hurt from one of the possums, or from the electrical shock. And so Akeem goes down. And Akeem is on the ground, wounded. Does Akeem get infected from whatever has reanimated Mikey? Let's make a body save for Akeem. Yes, he does get infected. So Akeem is dying, and he's also infected with this bacteria from presumably these yellow flowers, because everything's all reanimated with yellow. So that's great. Alright, Rowena is going to attack. She hits. Fantastic. 2d10 damage is a 7. Alright, making good progress against Mikey now, finally. So she spends another round of her SMG and does some serious work against Mikey. Okay. Devin's turn. Should Devin try to go save Akeem? Because he's likely to not pass his fear save. So I'm going to say Devin runs up and puts his arms under Akeem and starts dragging him towards the decontamination room. And he gets up to short range away from Mikey. And who is Mikey going to go for? One will be Rowena now, because Akeem is out. So he starts moving towards Rowena. She's standing right outside the doorway of the decontamination room. And she's like, hurry up, Devin! Get him in here! And so Mikey starts ambling her way. And he's going to make an attack with his claws. And he fails. He can't get purchase as she dances away from his stumbling. And so now it is Cade's turn. He's going to fire at Mikey. He gets a hit. Success. Roll damage. 3 more damage. Fantastic. Okay. Now it is Akeem's turn. Akeem has to make a death save. Place a 1d10 in a cup, shake the cup, place it face down. Okay, I'm not going to do that because it's just me. And we are going to roll a 1d10 and see what he gets. 0 is a good, but he gets an 8. He dies. Akeem passes away, and Devin just drops him into the decontamination room, not knowing that he has died. He didn't take the time to check his vitals or anything. Rowena's going to fire against the adjacent Mikey here. She gets a miss. He is down to 3 shots. Alright, Devin is going to make a fear save. And that is a fail, I believe. Devin. Yes, that's a fail. But just barely. But still a fail. So Devin is going to run into the decontamination room and shut the door. And he's going to make the pretense of checking Akeem. And he does see that indeed Akeem has died as well. And so now it's Cade's turn. Cade's going to fire at Mikey. And he fails again. Jeez. This is getting really bad. Things are getting bad, folks. Mikey's going to attack Rowena. And he fails. Alright, fantastic. Rowena is going to make a last-ditch effort to attack here. Come on, Rowena. 58. That is a fail on Rowena's part. And we're going to say she does damage because he's so close. But instead of a 2d10, she's just going to roll a 1d10 damage. You can fail forward in Mothership. So this combat's just dragging out here. So I'm just going to try to make some effort. Oh, 3 damage. Fantastic. That is enough to cause 1 wound to Mikey. Let's roll on the wound table for old Mike and see what happens to Mikey. He is going to roll a wound table for a gunshot. That's a 7. That's a serious, major blood loss. Bleeding +4. He is undead, so I'm not sure that matters, but I'm going to make it matter anyway. We're going to say he bleeds 4 damage per turn. That's great. Okay. So, now it is Devin's turn. Devin, what are you going to do, Devin? He's going to pull out his old laser cutter. He ain't messing around with no revolver this time. And he's going to roll his fear save. Can he get the gumption up? Yes, he can! A 0. Oh, but he's doomed. That means he fails. He cowers. Oh, Devin, why'd you have to get a critical hit? Ah, your stupid panic conditions. Ugh, I hate them. I hate him. Okay, well, he cowers in the room, unable to bring himself to attack. And now it's Mikey's turn. He's attacking Rowena once again. He claws at her, but he is unable to get past her armor. And she is safe for another round. She's going to fire. And she gets a miss. Her last shot will be next turn. And she's going to go ahead and step away from Mikey the best that she can. And finally, Cade is going to make a shot as well. No, he will not. He is out. Oh, that's his flare gun. Okay. I was going to say already. And he fails again. If he got closer to his success rate, I would have made it be a fail forward, but that's a terrible roll, so he fails. Okay. So, back to Mikey again. Mikey attacks Rowena once again. And a critical fail. Oh my gosh, she gets an auto hit. He tries to attack her, and she gets to roll a defensive attack. Automatic hit. She's going to get 2d10 damage. That's 10 damage plus his 3 bleeding damage. Or 4 bleeding damage. So, my god, it's 14 damage. Alright. That's excellent. Okay. Devin, can you overcome your fear, buddy? 34. I think that's a hit. 34 versus his fear of 35. Yes, he does. He steps out with his laser cutter. He takes aim. Come on, Devin, you got this, buddy. Oh, you don't got this. I'm going to say he gets a hit. It just expires his entire battery. And so that uses his last 2 shots on that battery. And now it's also going to take 2 turns to both reload the battery and let the gun recool down. And so, but he does get a hit. I'm just tired of messing with this Mikey fella. And we are going to get 40 damage. 40 damage. That's not enough to completely kill him, but that is another wound. Let's roll on the wound table. Seven. He's bleeding again. Now he gets +8 damage. Okay, so let's see. 40 minus 12 is 28. Minus 8 is 20. He is down to 20 health. Oof. Mikey is in a bad way. And so is everybody else. Okay, we gotta bring this to a close here, folks. Come on, Cade. You can bring it home for us. Bring it home. And he fails. Reloads his last clip. Man, they are freaking going through the ammo in this bad boy. Okay, and then finally, Mikey's gonna attack Rowena once again, and he fails and misses. And now it is Rowena's turn. Your last shot, Rowena. She gets a 22, a critical hit. We're gonna say she gets to roll an extra D10, 3D10, and she gets 13 damage. That's almost a complete hit. But with his bleeding, that is a death for Mikey. He collapses in a disgustingly smelling, horrible mess. So now we've dispatched Mikey. We have 2 hours left to put this freaking thing together. Hopefully we can get it done before freaking anything else shows up. Let's go ahead and roll with advantage for Rowena. She's hurt. She fails. Can I get advantage here? 30. It's really a fail, but I'm going to count it as a success because I'm tired of doing this. And that's 1 success. Let's go ahead and do Devin. Strength check. He gets advantage, so he gets a success. That's 2 successes. And finally, Cade with his strength check. He's going to add his industrial equipment. I should have done that with Devin as well. That's okay. 3 successes. That's another hour. And they are able to get that hooked up. That's awesome. Oh, this doesn't take strength checks. This is just 1 hour and you have to roll to see what happens. You idiot. Okay, that's okay. We roll to see what happens during this hour. Hopefully nothing. Electrical burn. Who gets burnt? 1 or 2 is Rowena. 3 is Devin. He gets 3 more damage from another electrical burn. Okay. Wow, this is crazy. Finally, the last hour we spend. 5 is what? If Mikey is dispatched, roll on the possum chart. We're going to roll on the possum chart. Roll a d10 to be this left one. Come on, 0. No, a 9. 3 decayed possums. Oh my god, 3 possums come out of the toilet. Oh no. Oh no. 3 possums. We're almost out of ammo. Rowena runs over and picks up the flamethrower that... This is awful. Alright, so we got 3 possums. We got 3 possums. Oh my god. And they all get 3 hits. Okay. So, Rowena is going to go ahead and... Yeah, she's going to go ahead and fire. Well, it's a close range, but that's okay. we'll let the possums run towards us. They're at close range now. Rowena's going to fire the flamethrower, and she fails. Rowena, why? Okay, Devin is not going to fire. He's going to run in to the main room, insert the emergency override key. No, we're just gonna finish the mission. We'll finish the mission. He's not gonna call the shuttle. He's going to we're gonna try to finish the mission. They only got 1 hour left. He's gonna roll for his fear save, and he fails. Dang it, Devin. Why? Why must you fail every single friggin' time? Now it is Cade's turn. Cade's in his last thing. He gets a hit on one of the possums. Doesn't matter the damage because, well, we will roll 2d10, and if it's over 10, we'll take 2 health off. It's a 9, so only 1 health off. Okay. He attacks the first possum and gets a hit. And we're going to say the 3 possums all go to attack a different person. The first one's going to attack Rowena for a 48. That's a miss. Second one's going to attack Devin. That's a 50. That's a miss. Third one's going to attack Cade. That's a 94. That's a miss. Fantastic. Oh, these freaking possums. I'm sick of these possums. Okay. Now it is Rowena's turn. Can you hit it with a flamethrower, Rowena? No, you miss once again. How can you miss with a flamethrower is what I want to know. Devin fails his fear save and runs and hides. Cade is disgusted with Devin, and he's so disgusted he fires his gun and fails as well. Down to 3 shots. Now it is the possums attacking Rowena. Miss. Second possum attacks Rowena as well. He misses as well. Third possum attacks Cade, and that's a hit. Oh no. He is going to do 1d10 damage. What do you get? 10 damage! Oh my god! He really hurts Cade. He destroys his armor down to a 1. And he does 9 damage. Oops. Okay. And Cade also has to make a body save or get infected. Alright. Saves. Body save. And he is infected. Oy vey. Ooh. Oy vey. Oy vey. Oy vey. Now it is Rowena's turn. Rowena, please get a hit. And she fails and uses the last of her stuff. Okay. Devin, can you overcome yourself? No, you cannot. Okay. And then finally, Cade. Oh, jeez. This is ridiculous. I'm going to say he gets a hit anyway. I'm so sick of this. It's freaking possums. All right. The first possum is attacking Rowena. Miss. Second possum attacks Devin. Miss. Third possum attacks Cade. Miss. Okay. Rowena, she is going to take the flamethrower and bash the possum with a miss. I'm going to say it's a hit, and the possum passes out. And I don't care anymore. Devin, can you overcome your fear? No, you can't. You're worthless, Devin. And then finally, Cade is going to attack. And fails as well. Jeez. Okay. One last attack for the possums. Fail. 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 One last round for the people. We're going to say that Rowena is using her flamethrower as a melee weapon. I'm going to go ahead and get a hit. Because I am... We're just going to do automatic hits for all... going to do one massive roll here because this is getting ridiculous. The combat has a tendency to drag a little bit in Mothership because the percentage rolls are just so low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, is it likely that we will kill all 3 possums before they can do damage to us? I'm going to say 50% chance we can kill them before they kill us. I have to get over, greater than, or over 50. Yes. Okay. So the battle plays itself out, and we finally dispatch all of these possums. Holy cow, that is crazy. And we finish up the last bit of the sensor, and the shuttle comes down and picks us up. We go ahead and load Akeem into the shuttle. We give Cade a stim pack. So I'm going to go ahead and mark off my stim pack. And so that we gave one to Cade and to, what's her name? Okay. And then take off my ammo that I spent for my revolver. So we are taken back up to Kowalski, and we give them a debriefing, and they pay us the salaries that was agreed, and we are paid each, both Cade and I and Rowena, we are each paid, let's see, 1,500, that would be 2,500 times 2, that's 5,000 plus $2,000 in jump pay. So we each get paid 7,000 credits, which is not bad. It's not bad. We do tell the corporation about everything that happened, as far as the neon flowers and how things seemingly come back to life, and that Rowena was wounded, and she is starting to get an itching sensation under her skin and an increased heart rate. And so they just inject a stim pack into her, and it seems to cure any symptoms that she was having there. So 7,000 credits each is not too shabby. And we were able to be brought into the Hope system, which is also good, so we can start doing some additional things there. We are going to kindly ask if we can take a short shore leave here in this gateway station before we progress on with our mission, and I think they will not have a problem with us doing that. Let me add Cade's credits here. I always forget where the credits are on this thing. Am I just missing it? Where's your credits? Ah, here it is. He's only got 3,500 credits. So now he's got 10,500. That's good. So now he's got some extra. All right, so we can pull our credits if need be to do some things. Rowena, she may join us later, and she may be a recurring character. So that might be interesting to bring her along on a future mission, perhaps. And poor Akeem, we did tell them, of course, about the resurrection properties of those plants, and so they have told us that they will incinerate his body so that you don't have to worry about any kind of resurrection of his of his self. All right, so let's go ahead and take some shore leave here, just while we are at this station. And I've decided that both myself and Cade are probably going to try to pick up some military training. So how we handle that in game, I have yet to decide, but I think that might be good for us to be a little better at combat, because right now the combat is brutal. And I think in the future I also will start using my industrial equipment if I'm using my laser cutter That will pop me up to 55, which is not bad. Cade, unfortunately, doesn't have anything that he can add. So maybe we'll sign up for some conscript duty and get that military training or something. And maybe I could come up with a mission that we could do as trainees or something. That might be fun. So maybe we'll do that at some point. I got big plans for this campaign, apparently. So hopefully we survive. Hopefully we survive. Okay, so we're going to take some shore leaves. 2d10 times 100. Come on, low numbers. Yeah, 11. Okay, 1100. And I haven't really been making Cade pay for anything, so he's kind of like, he's just kind of riding shotgun for me here. So 20085. We'll just pay one shore leave for the whole group. That's fine. We'll do it on Devon's bill here. Okay, and so that's going to give us how many days? We'll just say it's 11 days as well that we are going to be on shore leave, and we are going to roll our sanity save. This is the tough part. We only have a 35% chance of succeeding here, which is not very good. So we're gonna roll. Can we get? No. Okay. Ugh. That's too bad. Well, anyway, our health goes back up to 20. Our stress goes back down to the minimum of 3. And same for Cade. Your health goes back up to 20. And your stress goes down to 2. He got bit too, didn't he? I think we already gave him a stem pack. Yeah, we already used a couple of stem packs, so couldn't remember if we did that or not. So that's okay. We got that going, and we're gonna say that we didn't cause any. Well, let's just roll. I think it's unlikely. So we're gonna roll an unlikely roll. It has to be higher than 75. Did we make any attention to ourselves that might bring a bounty hunter? Oh, shoot. Of course. Of course we did. Oh my god. Okay, I need to set a new tracker down here then for the bounty hunter because I erased the other one. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to bring this guy up here. So we have gotten 1 progress out of 10. The bounty hunter has no idea we're in the hope system, but they are looking for us once again. Who this bounty hunter will be this time, I don't know, but we definitely took care of them last time, and I guess we'll just have to do so again this time. If so, that's too bad. But at least we were able to rest and recover with Cade and Devin. They have some long chats about what to do next. I think they're going to go to the university first, to the medical center of the University Vidalia Minor. We're going to go to their research and medical facility on Hope 5 and see if we can get some medical assistance first, in addition to some medical gear for ourselves. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure and hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.